Hello, welcome back to Jesse's Vintage Garage. In this video we're going to go over a new project coming up. This is going to be a project of my father's, so he's going to be for his bike. It's his bike anyway, let's just say it that way. And if you remember right back when we went to Davenport, this is the actual frame that we bought there. And we've been working on it, cleaning it up, and we have got this fixed up here. This has all been cleaned up a little bit. We were just checking for stuff here. We didn't find too much bad stuff. There's a little bit of a dent here. That might have been from the mouse trap originally even. But otherwise, we're looking pretty good. All the holes are there. Everything lines up. We haven't done any mocking up with this yet or not. We've had a couple holes filled back here that were not belonging. And we have a couple more to go yet.
That we missed.
Yeah. And we're going to be rebuilding a 59 dual glide with this frame. And kind of putting it back to a dual glide look. There's going to be some things that are going to be not quite accurate, but it's going to be a custom bike in a way, but look like a dual glide. That's probably the best way to say it. This is a swing arm we got at the Davenport swap meet also. We're working on tapping holes here to putting plates on it, and we also had to fix some of the surface on here because it was kind of over tight and it started collapsing. If you remember that video, I was talking about that when we picked it up. Otherwise, yeah, the plates they're there to protect stuff. So when you go to tighten up your axle, it doesn't do what has happened to this swing arm. And this swing arm is not correct for 59, if you remember that, because this is not a 59 did not have a disc brake. Like this is a disc brake swing arm. Yeah, there's the plates.
They screw on with button head screws wherever they are.
Yeah, there you go. Yep. And we do if I remember right, the swing arm did come with this frame. We have it. It's going to probably sit on the shelf because it's all original yet, in good shape. And this switching over and doing a rear disc brake, opposed to the mechanical hydraulic brake, like the 58, 59 would have had. This is an upgrade because it all interchanges and fits. So that's exciting because then if we ever decide to go even further and make it an original looking bike, we can take this out and put the original swing arm on and not sacrifice anything we modified it.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I'm going to go show the bike that we're going to be disassembling to make this all happen. And it may irritate some people because it's a nice looking bike the way it is, but it's something that my father's always wanted to do, is to put it back to original dual glide look to it. So let's go check that out. Well, here's the bike we're going to be disassembling to make this dual glide project come together. Of course, we're going to not destroy anything here. This is a nice period look chopper from the late 70s, early 80s look. This is the original 59 FL engine. It has shovel heads on it, of course, you can see. Original transmission. We'll probably be rebuilding a transmission and using some of those parts for the project. A lot of parts are going to be saving to rebuild with. We're going to be going away from the open primary and putting a belt inner primary, but it's going to be the tins and stuff. Oil tank will look different. We're going to leave.
You're going to leave the foot clutch.
Yeah, we're going to.
Shift.
Yeah, so we'll do all that. We'll do the foot clutch and stuff. The shifter will still be hand shift. It's going to have the FL big tanks. It'll be there. You know, we're going to do the seat post with a spring seat. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of different. This has been like this for a long time, since I was a little kid, looking like this. But this dual glide project is going to be kind of neat looking too when it's done. Now, these parts are not going to be gotten rid of, because what's going to end up happening is this motorcycle will end up having just the power plant missing pretty much, and a couple things here and there. And we'll be able to resurrect this, but maybe with a different engine. I mean, that's the good thing about this stuff, especially the pre-70 engines, because Harleys '69 and older are all licensed and titled off of the engine. So this frame does not have any numbers. So, and it's totally legal. That's how it was. So we can put this frame in this engine in any frame we want to. We can put it in a rigid frame if we wanted to. But
It was in a rigid frame.
yeah, when you first got it.
Yeah,
So
when I first built it. So
Yep.
this is the second iteration.
yeah, I'm not sure if we have any pictures of what it looked like before this style right here, but the stretch and rake on this thing is like well proportionate when you ride it. Yeah. Anyway, there's a couple more things we're going to talk about, and then going forward here. But I wanted to show some things on this project coming up. I mean, we still got to finish the 56 yet. We got the 60 Triumph we're working on yet, and well, it was not a big deal doing all these different projects at the same time. But it gets kind of hard to where you're keeping it all straight, but not so bad. But here's what the plates I was talking about earlier was, and then we're gonna end up putting that frame together, that swing arm together. It'll be black, but we'll have these pyramid adjusters also, and these plates, and that's a nice upgrade, customizing. So
Gonna use that same brake.
oh yeah, man, that's right. So this is all gonna go on that bike, but we probably won't run the.
Not gonna run that wheel.
No, not the wheel, yep. And then it's actually a car tire on this wheel. But
Right, big fat one.
the fattest you could get back
15
then.
Yep.
So I mean,
15-inch car tire.
yep. Well, as we're going forward on this project here, we needed to get a few things figured out before we got too carried away with tearing it apart. We're gonna be running a more modern hub here, wheel. It's gonna be the Dash 86 hub that has the Timken tapered roller bearings in it and wheel seals. So,
Yep.
and it's a nice upgrade compared to the original style that was being ran on this bike. Just the roller bearing stuff. Anyway, what we ended up finding out is this hub that's in here is a little bit wider, so we ended up having to go with a special sprocket to make it more flat instead of dished, and it lines right up with the transmission sprocket up there. Anyways, it comes back, chain lines up, we run it a little bit, it stays on there, it doesn't want to like climb off or anything. And the other part is on the brake here, it's right in the center where it needs to be on, and so we have all the spacing just right. So now that we have this all figured out, we can take this off, put a rim strip on, tube and tire, and pretty much finish putting the bolts in correctly because they're just sitting here. And this will be ready to go on the project bike coming up. So otherwise, I'm not really sure how much more yet we're going to be doing to this before we take it off on working on taking the parts off and stuff. But yeah, let's see what we got left here. What we're going to try to do.
This isn't the hub, by the way. This isn't the hub we used. This is the wheel that we took out, but it's the same one. This is just a wheel that we have laying around.
Yeah, so anyway, right here we're going to start talking about how we figured out what we needed for a sprocket and what the hub we're running and all that stuff. Anyway, so like he was just saying, this is an older style. Doesn't have the those push-in seals like you see on these later hubs, like that right there. And it's still not a sealed wheel bearing like your later 2000, early 99 stuff would have had. So,
But it is sealed.
But it is sealed, yeah.
It's a real seal. This has a washer and a keeper in here, and it is not sealed at all. So you got to be careful when you take a wheel or a motorcycle like this that has a hub like this. You don't want to be spending a lot of time power washing. You'll wash out the grease that's in the bearings. I've seen that happen many times.
Yeah, because people try to get all that
Yeah,
grime
get it
off the
clean.
wheels.
Got to get it clean. And
Yeah.
But anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. These early 73 to 82 hubs, the distance from here to here is the same on both sides, no matter if it's for a. So in essence, you could put this on either way, but they always put the hole for the tube. They put that on the disc side.
Yeah, and this is an older wheel because it has a large hole for rubber
Right.
copper deal. This is actually a dash 40 rim, if I can remember right.
This is just an old wheel. So these are equal on both sides, okay? And that's what that bike had.
Yeah.
And when it's equal on both sides, it calls for a sprocket like this. And this sprocket is dished. It has a 1/4 inch offset. That's what the dish is. It's raised off a flat 1/4 inch. Okay, with that knowledge, the newer hubs, the ones that we're talking about here, and the same thing that's on there, the only difference between this hub here and this wheel here is that's painted black and this one is chrome.
Yeah,
but it's the same wheel.
Yeah, it'll be a different part number for the earlier one.
Yeah, it's just the same wheel. And so what it amounts to is they're not equal anymore. See here, this one, it's the same distance as what this is on this side, which is the disc side, by the way. The side over here was raised out. And the reason they did that is because of the belt drives and the belt pulleys were wider. And they had to get that belt drive out away from the tire when the tire was on the wheel. So now, how much did that move? 1/4 of an inch.
The same as the offset.
So the same as the offset. So all we really needed to do, I thought, was get a flat sprocket, and by golly, they make those.
Yeah, that's actually off of like a Sportster or something from older days. It's actually from like a 82 to 90 something Sportster, and it's a 41464-86 sprocket.
And it uses the same 7/16 holes, and it uses the same bolt pattern. Yeah. So it bolts right up. In fact, they use the same wheel on the Sportster, and that's why it's flat. So all we felt that we had to do is buy one of those flat sprockets, and they even come in a 51 tooth, which is what I need or wanted. So I put it on here, put all the spacers in here, tightened it up. I run a straight edge in there, and it lines up on both sides of the sprocket to the other both sides of the sprocket and does not move. So it's perfectly in line. So we're good. And
yeah, and if you get the alignment good, you get the wheel alignment good with the front wheel, and you get your brake rotor alignment right on. That's all you need to really worry about. And then after that, you figure out what you're spacing for your spacers, and you're golden.
Yes. And as it turns out, really, I didn't need to really change any spacers. It all bolted up and just tightened up just like it should. I couldn't believe it. And so...
Yeah, and of course these sprockets, they take a 7/16 bolt. We've seen some where they're like a 3/8 in there, but they're actually call for a 7/16 special bolt. And nice, Colony makes a nice kit here. Chrome, we didn't need chrome, but we went with it. 3847 or 3647-10 and 7/16 20 by 1 1/4. Now you could go with whatever you want there, but you got to have hard bolts because they need at least grade 8 because of the shear factor.
There's lots of other kits out there. There's kits that look just like this with big washers. Those were made for the sprocket with the belt because it was an aluminum pulley, and you didn't tighten the bolt up on an aluminum pulley. This has a built-in little washer anyway right under the head, and it bolts up to this chromed solid steel. And they never had washers on these. So this is the correct kit for a steel chain drive sprocket. Yeah. And the ones with the big washers that look just like it, except the bolt's a 1/4 inch longer, that's because those are for the belt drive aluminum pulleys that go on the back.
Yeah, then on the rotor side, they take a special bolt as well because it's a narrow head in the parts book. Now this might not be exactly a stock caliper mounting bracket or whatever, but we needed to have the narrow head or the short head because
look how close it is.
Oh yeah, see that it could just barely goes. The other thing you gotta watch is down here and see the clearance on that freaking caliper on those spokes. You can't have any margin of error there. So
it just fits, and that's all stock. This is all stock lacing. I did not loosen it. I did not lace it over left or right, which you can do.
Offsetting, yeah.
Yeah, for an offset. I did not do that. This is a standard offset. So alignment should be perfect. So, and this is the sprocket set, or the, not sprocket, excuse me, the discs set. It's a real skinny head and self-locking bolt that goes right into these countersunk holes here. They're a straight countersunk. What I mean by countersunk, they're just stepped in, so these heads don't come in contact with your brake rotor.
Makes it hard to get on there with the socket, but you gotta really just kind of try really hard. Anyway, that's 8738-10 for this special set we're going with here on this.
So that's about it. So
yeah, well, anyways, this is for a different project coming up. It's chrome sprocket or chrome hub. Yeah, this is, like I was saying, it was the Dash 86 hub, and anyway,
we have this sitting around here for, like he says, for a project coming up. We're going to be lacing this into new rims with stainless spokes, and you'll be seeing that come up here in a little while.
Yeah. So anyways, hope you enjoyed everything on this. I think we're just going to kind of cut this short because it's kind of just an announcement and a couple things we've been tinkering with. So hope you're excited to see this change back into a dual glide custom and taking it out of the chopper form. But maybe someday we'll see this frame being used on a different project someday. But anyways, hope you enjoyed everything, and we'll see you again soon.